As the Philippine monsoon season begins, tens of millions of children pour into public and private schools all over this archipelago to learn the ways of the world and feed their hearts with hope. Close to 1 million more enter the school system every year. Slogging through torrential rain or flood, or hobbling along with feet unshod, they persevere, their gaze transfixed by the adventure ahead. At the primary level, nearly every child will be in public school. And there they learn an appalling arithmetic. 1 in 10 will not have a classroom. Their classes will be held in a corridor or under a tree. 1 in 5 will not have a desk. 2, 3, sometimes 6 will share a single textbook. And sadly, 6 out of 10 will drop out before finishing primary school, many before achieving functional literacy. And yet, many classrooms remain happy, hopeful settings for learning. In eloquent testimony to the Filipinos' attitude towards education, these children and their parents stubbornly refuse to let dreams die. Their hopes are borne on the shoulders of a dwindling army of teachers and administrators fighting a war of attrition. This is a series of snapshots, an album if you wish, describing their plight and promise, and a story about a non-government organization that is unafraid to underwrite a bold prescription for a system in distress. In the post-war decades, the teacher was a champion for modern education and a source of national pride. So effective was she that at one time Philippine literacy rates began to pace the rest of Asia. Then in the 90s, a population boom threatened to overload the system. The national government embarked on a construction binge to build a school in every barrio. This they did. However, it became apparent that the rapid expansion proceeded without ensuring the minimum requirements for delivering quality education. With poor education, art and culture were also unduly sacrificed in the desire to provide free and universal education at the primary and secondary levels. Cultural literacy became a mirage in a desert of a shrinking education budget. Astonishingly, it is the overworked, underpaid teacher who is expected to remedy this. Every year, those who stay assume heavier teaching loads. Even administrators and their staff are assigned teaching units. But they're not miracle workers. They also have problems at home that drive them to find work in some other country. To raise the quality of education, the private sector created initiatives to improve teachers' competencies. In seminars like these, the Rex Oasis for Arts and Culture Foundation upgrades the skills and knowledge base of teachers and administrators throughout the entire archipelago. They have been quietly helping thousands of teachers and administrators rediscover their passion for teaching.
In 1986, the ROAC Foundation was established to help develop the arts and preserve Filipino cultural heritage. But its founders soon realized that there would be no art to develop, no culture to preserve, without apt pupils. Miss Gay Estacio.
Come in, I'll show you around.
Thank you.
We owe our existence to the educators. From our humble beginnings in the 50s, the company grew in one of the biggest publishing entities today. But as we continue to grow, the Philippine education, backed by the numerous surveys, remained in the laggard. While it is true that the very same materials are being used by both the exclusive schools and the less prominent ones, the graduates differ. With this, we've concluded that the materials are not the only important factor in the upliftment of education, but also the quality of educators will play a pivotal role in ensuring the quality of graduates.
The big-scale seminar started in 1986. It is facilitated for pre-elementary, elementary, and secondary school teachers and administrators. The roundtable discussion caters to tertiary level, while the exclusive seminar is for individual schools. We also have a special training program for public school teachers and administrators as well.
In 1986, we started with 1,000 participants, concentrated mainly in nearby provinces. But as we saw the need, we've expanded our coverage throughout our archipelago. Last year, there were 20,000 participants on seminars conducted throughout the country.
ROAC aims to increase its current number of participants from 20 to 40,000 in the next 2 to 5 years. In fact, last year alone, our main benefactor, the Rex Bookstore, donated roughly 5 million pesos, training more than 20,000 educators, conducted in 20 big-scale seminars and at least 100 small-scale seminars.
For us to realize the objectives of ROAC, we need more individuals, associations, and corporations to be one with this vision. Only through these collective efforts can we make meaningful impact on our teachers, our students, and our country as a whole.
ROAC aims to bring Filipino ingenuity and talent to global recognition through its intensive development of education-oriented programs that seek to provide quality education and significance to cultural preservation and cultivation. Indeed, ROAC believes that the most important responsibility of every Filipino is to recognize his potentials, be proud of his achievements, and entrust that fulfillment to his future generation. Believing in the vast talent of every Filipino, the Rex Oasis of Arts and Culture Foundation stands to its vision. Talinong Pilipino, Sulong Pilipinas. We simply don't cultivate, we drive Filipinos to excellence.
Love in post-war Manila brought together two book trading enterprises owned by Mr. Juanito Fontelera and Miss Jovita Buhain. Now, their first venture, a bookstore, was razed tragically by a fire. The flames consumed all but one item, an undamaged copy of the prayer book, Jesus Save Me.
Realizing it was providential, the Fontaleras soon opened the very first Rex bookstore in 1950 along Ascaraga Street, now known as Claro M. Recto. In the same year, Rex Bookstore was incorporated and began publishing law books. Today, RBSI owns and manages a chain of bookstores nationwide through which it markets a wide selection of textbooks and commercial publications. Finally, in 1986, in seeking to acknowledge the invaluable support of teachers all over the country, the Rex Group of companies founded the ROAC Foundation as a way of thanking them.
Philippine education, specifically in the public schools, is beset by poor, inadequate teacher education preparation and also in service training. Good teachers have left the service. They retired because of their age, health, disappointments, or left for better opportunities somewhere.
I love facilitating seminars nationwide since 1991.
I started this challenging involvement in seminars way back in 1993 and wish to continue with the task as long as my participation is needed and my health warrants it.
I consider facilitating as a ministry. Every time I train teachers and administrators nationwide, my help is extended. It multiplies, not only adds.
Okay. Some teachers are getting the help they need. They seem genuinely committed to the continuing process of self-improvement insofar as teaching competency is concerned. Certainly, this is substantial progress in the right direction.
But from a macro perspective, can this salvage a situation that is perceived to be irrecoverable? Because isn't there almost an entire generation marginalized by a 10-year-old mistake?
Most of the teachers who benefit from the ROAC Foundation's teacher training program teach in private schools.
Their spheres of influence barely affect the quality of teaching in the public school system. This is where the overwhelming majority of marginalized students seem to be trapped. The dropout rate progresses steadily through secondary and then tertiary schooling. Out of 100 of these young hopefuls, less than 20 eventually graduate with college degrees, many with obligations to pay back parents or creditors for financing their studies. For the majority who never finish school, unemployment and poverty become a heavy ball and chain.
Teachers, especially public school teachers, remain our best hope. But it's no longer just merely about raising the quality of education. It now has more to do with lifting the flagging human spirit and preserving hope.
In its 10-year master plan, the ROAC Foundation is committed to building free libraries for many of the country's poorest schools. It is spearheading an Adopt-a-School donor program that will focus and provide for the specific needs of students, teachers, and administrators in target schools. So, please consider this. The Philippines remains Southeast Asia's last true democracy. No heirs to the throne, no religious deity, no dictatorial successors. Just bright, beautiful children who will be ill-prepared to inherit some truly difficult problems.
I myself cannot deny the benefit of my abilities and dedication as an educator to my students.
When I think what can become of them without guidance and education, I know I made the right choice.
It's about taking a stake in the future of this country. It's about giving what belongs to them, the potential of young lives that have yet to be lived.
It's about saving what is truly precious, hope. In the 1500s, the conquistadors found early Filipinos already had systems of writing, a language of their own, education, and law. Today, Filipino literacy rates are dropping. At the same time, many of our best teachers have opted to become migrant workers. And near our home, our children are failing in school. The ROAC Foundation has been aggressively pursuing solutions and is committed to escalating this in response to the magnitude of the problem. It is therefore encouraging that every year, more and more corporations and individuals are finding it in their hearts to help.
Ang baon ng estudyante ay pag-asa. Ang kailangan niyang sustansya ay kaalaman. Pero ang kaligtasan niya ay malasakit lamang.